Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and in this video, we're going to talk about the flow of a healthy mobile game and how that relates to Raid Shadow Legends in terms of these different areas and keeping everything flowing well for the long-term health of a game and a player base. I was actually doing this for, you can see the Aftershock logos. I was actually doing this, working on an article for our Aftershock website that we're starting with Diablo Immortal and branching out into other games. And I was going to do this over on my Diablo Immortal channel, but then I got to thinking and I was like, you know what? It might be fun. I've been playing Raid since the start. It might be fun to talk about how Raid Shadow Legends and Plarium do in some of these different areas, and maybe even someday down the road compared to other games like Diablo Immortal, where I actually think Plarium is going to end up doing better on a chart like this compared to things like Diablo Immortal. So I'm just going to give you my thoughts on how this all flows and how it relates to Raid Shadow Legends, and then you can let me know if you agree or disagree. So let's get into it. Alrighty then. So anyway, in the background, I'm grinding the current event going on for the Fire Night, just for some kind of footage to be there while we're going over this. But I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna grade Plarium and Raid on these different areas. So we'll just kind of start at the top and work our way through the flow. So content creators. I think Raid. I'm not talking about me. I'm just talking in general. Raid has not only a ton of content creators, but a ton of high-level content creators that are really positive about helping people learn the game. That run really good Discord servers, really good clans, and do a lot of. You have a lot of like fun, community-oriented streamers. I think the content creators is probably an A. For Raid. I can't quite go A+ because there isn't Raid doesn't have like that Asmon Gold or Dr. Disrespect or like Ninja or somebody who's playing the game daily and actively that has like 1 million subs on YouTube and like 5,000 subs on Twitch or anything. So Raid's missing like that one crazy huge content creator. Hell, Hades is getting there. He's going to be there soon enough. I'm sure he does an amazing job. But definitely an A in terms of having a robust content creator scene that kind of feeds in to a bunch of video content and live content. I would give the video content as we go down there an A+. So many thousands and thousands of good videos for Raid Shadow Legends to teach people how to play and how to learn the game. Live content, I would probably go like maybe a B. The live streaming's got a little bit less active in recent months on Raid as the game kind of settles into being 3 or 4 years old, but still very good streamers streaming the game, and it's not I'm not gonna give it like a D or anything, but missing like huge content creators with like 5,000 plus creators maybe, but I don't know if Raid has the viewer base to support that. So I don't know, still definitely a decent grade. And the content creation scene in general, from the creators to the videos to the live content, very solid in Raid Shadow Legends, in my opinion. Then we'll slide on over to marketing. I mean, for Raid, you got to give this an A+. I've never really seen a game do the marketing at a more robust level and take it more seriously and really get out there and hit the pavement for as consistently and long-term as Raid has. They really invested heavily into that, but not only did they invest heavily into it, they do have some decently high-priced commercials that are kind of funny and well done. Like you've got the couples session with like Gaelic and Zargala fighting with each other and stuff. And they have some pretty well done marketing and fun little campaigns to bring new players into the game. So all in all, I would give Raid an A+ for marketing. Moving over to natural discovery. This one's probably a little bit rough for Raid. Maybe not so much now because the game is so popular and because of all the marketing and all the promotion they've done. A lot of people know about Raid even if they've never played it. Like when I was playing Age of Empires 4 and I was meeting like RTS gamers, I would meet people on ladder that are like, hey, are you the Chosen from Raid Shadow Legends? And they don't even play the game. Like, they just know about Raid Shadow Legends and they randomly see the content popping up and stuff like that. And whenever I would get in a Discord voice call to group up and play Age of Empires 4, and I tell them what they do, they're like, oh, you play that game? Like everybody knows Raid. So there is some natural discovery going on now, but it was a little bit rough in the early days because Raid wasn't a huge IP. Like when you have a game like Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes or something, the natural discovery is going to be huge because it's got the Star Wars IP backing it. Raid didn't really have that yet. So back in the day, the natural discovery was probably like a D, but now it's probably pretty good, especially with it being high ranked on the App Store. So I'm going to give this a B, decent amount of word of mouth, and also pretty high ranked on the App Store. And obviously, all of that feeds into the new players coming into the game, and I think obviously that works pretty well for Raid, given the fact that the three main factors leading into the new players all grade out pretty well. They've never really had a problem with keeping a constant influx of new players coming to the game because of that. And then those new players that are coming into the game are usually going to break down into 3 different tiers. Obviously, there's many different tiers within like the spenders tier and stuff. And there's like their Kraken whales and just normal whales. But typically, you're going to have your whales, your spenders, and then your free to play that aren't going to be spending anything. And then those 3 tiers are going to break down to your casual players that just kind of log in every now and then to collect their rewards and run their energy. And then you've got your hardcore grinders that are joining top clans and being super active and setting up communities and really taking the game seriously. But you'll get even in your hardcore grinders, you'll get all 3 spending tiers from free to play, spenders, whales, and you'll also get whales that are casual players. So the spending tier isn't going to really determine casual or hardcore, but you're going to get a nice spread of each in each tier. And as far as catering to each tier, which is something a good game needs to do, a good game, obviously, if a game's free to play, it's going to have to make money. So there's going to have to be incentive for spenders and whales to do well in the game. As far as these different tiers, for whales, I think it does like a B+ in catering to Uber whales. I can't go like A because things like void shards and stuff max out and they don't do like the speed packs and stuff super often. So if I'm thinking in the mindset of like an Uber whale, I can't quite go to an A. I do think the game does pretty well. Remember, we're talking in context to other mobile games. Money is relative. A person making $10,000 a year and a person making $10 million a year, the money situation is going to be way different. So you have to compare to the market and not like based on the dollar value. But compared to other games, Raid really does a pretty good job appealing to these spenders and giving people dopamine and giving them a feeling of progression when they're early and mid-game in terms of throwing money at the game. And if they haven't spent in a while, throwing them a much higher value pack. So I'm not going to go like A+ here, but I'd probably go like A- in terms of appealing to the spender type people in the game. And then as far as appealing to free to play, might be the worst, but I think most mobile games, especially as high profile as Raid or Diablo Immortal or something, free to play is probably going to be the lowest. But you do get events and you do get like promo codes every now and then, and I don't think it's awful, but I'd probably go like C+ maybe for appealing to free-to-play players. They do some fusions and fragments and stuff that are at least attainable for the hardcore grinder free-to-play players. So I'm not going to go like D or F. I'd probably go like C+. And then we go down to the developer side of stuff, which I think is a very important river feeding in to the healthy and active community ocean right here in the middle. So developer communication. Honestly, a lot of people think this is going to be really bad, but I've been a content creator for 14 years now, and developer communication is honestly pretty good from Plarium. Again, when you compare it to the marketplace, and not just like, some different metric, when you compare it to other games, honestly, developer communication, I'm gonna go like a B+. I'm not gonna go into the A tier because it can be hard to get like actual impactful communication. But in terms of them having like community managers that communicate with the players and communicate with content creators, that part of it's like an A+. They have very nice people that do a great job keeping us in the loop, doing cool things like a test server, and doing a good job of letting people know about different roadmaps and things that are coming up. So all in all, everything encompassed with developer communication, I'd go B+, and it could move into A if there were more impactful, like top tier developers that were really laying things out for players as well. And then lastly, we have got consistent patches, which again, compared to other games, you might think it's really bad, but Plarium, again, I probably can't go A. I'm gonna go B. There's a lot of things they could do better, like champion balancing is nowhere near as often as it should be. When you've got 700 champions or whatever Raid has, you really should be doing balancing like once every month or at worst every 2 months. And then even when they do balancing, they'll do like 4 champions. And it's like, really? They haven't balanced rares in forever, if they ever have. They don't do epics enough. And the legendaries, even when they do them, it's a little bit sparse. So I think getting champions and their abilities and their balance right is super important for Raid. So I can't go A because they don't do that enough. But in terms of like bringing new content, the Hydra and the Forge and new things to the game, the Path of Light they just introduced. A lot of times it's not, they could do it way better, but they are doing the volume pretty well compared to other games. It's just not always perfect how we would like it. So honestly, I would go B on consistent patches and consistent like bringing new content and stuff for players to theorycraft and dive into. So what all of this ends up averaging out to in the bottom middle here for like an active and healthy community, it looks like the average grade is kind of looking like, what do you think? About a B+, which honestly I think seems about right. Like Raid is coming up on 4 years old here pretty soon, and people are still going. Like there's content creators that have been doing it since the beginning and are still going strong on their channels, and the community still seems pretty active. People are still watching content, people are still hanging out and enjoying the game. It's not perfect, and I'm not going to go A as like an average grade, but when you compare it to some of the other games that would be 3 or 4 years old, it ends up grading out as a B+. And I'm actually going to do a video really similar to this, comparing to Diablo Immortal, which as of me recording this, I have not done yet, but I'm going to guess Diablo Immortal definitely grades out worse than this B+, in terms of me being really active in both communities and trying to do that. And then I might throw up, Raid compared to other games as well. But in closing, let me know what you think in terms of my flow here. Like, is there anything I could make better when I write the article? Do you disagree with any of my assessments? I always enjoy hearing constructive criticism and feedback from you, whether you agree or disagree. So that's going to do it for this discussion here about the success flow of a mobile game and how it relates to Raid Shadow Legends. I hope you enjoyed. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.